Great book.
Robin Sharma.
Yeah, Robin Sharma. Man who sold his Ferrari.
Since you have shared, let me also share what I am reading.
Oh, what's that? What's that?
Essentialism.
Oh, okay.
Okay, folks. So we are live now. And I will just join you.
Alka ma'am, we can't see you.
Just 1 minute. Here we go. There. Okay, hello.
There you are.
Yes. So, warm greetings to everyone. And hola, konnichiwa, bonjour, salam, namaste, zadravo, zadrasi, mabuhay, and a warm welcome to Chilparco International Women Council's panel deliberation. And I can see that, we have a lot of wit on the platform now, a lot of erudite wisdom, a lot of grit on the platform. And yes, the virtual platform is going to be ablaze, and it's going to be an evening of enlightenment, enrichment, empowerment, electric effervescence, efficacious conversations, which all will be revolving around a topic which perhaps has been talked about, but not really openly. And I think it's high time that, since we are in an age and time when we talk about sustainable development in all areas of life, and especially sustainable development goal number 4, which is quality education, I think somewhere we need to focus on this particular aspect and understand why is it that there is a role reversal in this case. Because if you see it, the young kids, when they're in primary or when they're in those early years, there are female teachers, and as they grow up, they start seeing male teachers more. But enough of me saying anything more. We will begin with divine benedictions, and we have our very feisty musician over here, Miss Ambika Sood, who will lead us in prayer. It's going to be a prayer song. So Ambika, it's okay.
Yeah, I'm going to sing a small prayer, and let's begin with this. Everything I am, everything I am, everything I need, everything I need, I give it to you, Lord. I give it to you, Lord, and do it thankfully, thankfully. Every song I sing, every praise I bring, everything I do is a gift to you. Everything I have, everything I have, all you've given me, all you've given me, I give it to you, Lord. I give it to you, Lord, and do it thankfully, thankfully. Every song I sing, every praise I bring, everything I do is a gift to you. Everything I do is a gift to you. Everything I do is a gift to you. Thank you, God. For blessing
Thank you so much, Ambika. That was really wonderful. And Dr. Shetty, prayers and lots of strength from all of us for your father. Get well soon for him. and remain strong. He'll be absolutely fine. I'm sure you agree with me when we say that, your father will be absolutely, and you are a strong woman, and you deserve all the happiness. And I'm sure, with your, the kind of strength that you have and the kind of, the way you love your dad, I'm sure, he'll be absolutely fine. So don't worry.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All prayers needed, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Ambika, you were very melodious.
Sorry?
Ambika was truly melodious.
Yes, that is why she's a feisty musician, isn't she? Thank you, Ambika. That was really amazing. And it took us to a very, serene, divine, we got that divine feeling. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Welcome.
So let me all tell you, because we all are good friends, but still, a little bit, very briefly about Chilparco International. So basically, it's about from the child in me to the parent in you, and from the parent in me to the child in you. So basically, it's about keeping the zest of lifelong learning and always, sharing. So it's not only keeping it to yourself, but it's also sharing. And our mission basically is to spread smiles, connect the global community through humanitarianism. And we strongly reinforce this fact that every individual is unique, every individual is unstoppable, and every individual is unbeatable. Everyone has their own special qualities with which they shine, with which they sparkle, and which they share with everyone around them. And together, with all good qualities and all the goodness that everyone has, we make this world a better place, and we connect, we care, we communicate. So basically, this is what we do in a little way. And yes, if we talk about what all we do, we have various groups and councils. So let me tell you some of them. So it is, we have our New Age Parenting Group, we have our Dream Team, we have the Women's Council of Chilparco International, Energia International, which is the Youth Council. We have our Global Educators Group, we have our Tenacity Editorial Board, we have our Talent Rendezvous, we have our Lounge the Rhythm Group, and we have loads of programs and shows going. And the Wireless Connect, this is our global conference. We've had one season of this where we had 10 episodes. We're beginning season 2 now, and the episode 1 is going to be in the form of a debate. And we have Talent Rendezvous where we have youngsters, and not only youngsters, but everyone, taking part in some competitions. And some of you have been judging some of those competitions. And we try to have them at least twice, maybe twice in 3 months. We cannot have them monthly, but we do try to have them at a regular basis. We have the Wit and the Grit show, which is stories, inspiring stories that shine and sparkle. We have the Let's Chat Over Coffee show, which people talk about their passions. We have the Kryptonite show, which is the success dynamic of the educators. We have Club Rejuvenata. We have our Lounge the Rhythm, which is the music, dance, poetry, theater club. And we have once a month, we do have some, connection with our music and poetry. So everybody shares poetry, everybody shares music, song, dance, whatever it is they would like to. And that becomes very enriching and very empowering as well. So these are our programs. And of course, we have our Tenacity magazine, and which we try to release every monthly. And besides this, we're all here together. We also have our Book Wizards Club we've just had recently. That is why you can see the professor with loads of book at his back, where we try to share a book that we have read with one another. And here I can see our Dr. Bana smiling. She's a voracious reader as well, and I'm sure she's going to be sharing some interesting books with us. And she'll be also doing some film critiques with us, which is very good at that. And so now, ladies, gentlemen, change makers, edu leaders, I would like to talk to you about our special guests for the day, our special change makers who have graced the platform. So I would like to begin by talking about our very own, very dear Dr. Bana. Now, Dr. Bana is an educator with a panoramic perspective on the challenges that confront the educational arena and the need to connect the learner's dreams to real-world imperatives, from effective communication to societal responsibilities. Now, she has 40 years of experience in the field of education, ranging from instructional and organizational to the creative and motivational aspects of mentoring and monitoring of students, staff, and parents. She enjoys conducting workshops to incorporate innovations for institutional and teacher capacity development, life skills, adolescent issues, and English enrichment. As an assessor with NABET, I hope I got that right, Dr. Bana, NABET, QCI. She is engaged in quality standards review and upgrades. Not only that, she believes that the educational process must evolve from information upload into formation of skills, very important, to bring about transformation at several levels. For education to be rewarding, it must provide a conducive environment where from wholesome beings come forth as agents of change representing superior humanitarian values. A big welcome to you, Dr. Bana. It is so wonderful to have you here. And yes, we would definitely like to hear a little bit from, just say hello to everyone and maybe just a little bit, because I'm going to be asking you later on once everybody speaks to share your views also on the topic. But just as a just to begin with, you have talked about superior humanitarian values, and I think it is these values that are important. But is there any particular value that you feel is overrated or underrated?
Oh,
And a big welcome to you.
thank you. Thank you for the warm welcome. Yes, I think if the word humanitarian comes in, it is an all-encompassing word.
Yes.
We need to look at the wholesomeness of gender and not in a divisive, polarized way, but we have to look at it as a wholesome, complete way. So it becomes a foundational perspective for us to see us as collaborative beings working together rather than look at the differences. We hold on to the diversity for the strengths that it brings to us. So I really value interconnectedness and I really value the coming together of polarities.
Wow. Thank you so much. No, but you were saying something more. I just interrupted you.
These great learning leaps have taken place these past few years, as we all have. COVID has been such a disruptor, but at the same time, it's jangled us to reflect and think. And the digital outreach, along with all the real world challenges,
Right.
has made us look at the link more and more. So I think as a part of becoming more reflective, more practical, more looking to achieve harmony, we should be future ready. And I think we are ready. So what I feel is that before we dive into the topic where we are pointing out what we need, is that universities need more female teachers and kindergarten needs more male teachers. Yes, we need balance, because the topic itself shows that there is some sort of a scenario where there is a lopsided gender engagement at perhaps primary and middle school level. At senior school level, we find it's almost 50-50. That's what studies show.
Yes.
Again, at university level, more male teachers than female teachers. So we are looking for balance, we are looking for harmony. And if this coming together at school level, at university level, is definitely going to help us, because this is what will get projected in society and community life. So education must reflect that. So if there is more of gender roles which are collaborative and inclusive, we don't have to look at the differences so much as we have to look at the strength of diversity that they bring together. So would that be good to start it, or would you like?
That's very good to start, because I want you to listen to everyone and then give your views on that. So Dr. Bana, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, she is our chief guest for the day, a wonderful human being. And, you know, you just sit with her and you learn so much. That is something, you know, I don't know where she gets that knowledge from, but, you know, there is always something, and you can talk about her on any topic under the sun, and she will have something to say to you. And also, she always connects, you know, she never forgets the roots, you know, our roots, the legacy, but she connects them with the present scenario. And I think that is her USP. Thank you so much, Dr. Bana. You know, it's so beautiful and wonderful to see you after ages, and to be hearing you and connecting with you on the platform. So thank you. And we're going to be listening to you some more. So now, ladies and gentlemen, let me talk to you about our very special guest, another educator who has been in the educational scenario for 4 decades. Miss Dolly Mehta. She is an organized educational professional with a proven teaching, guidance, and counseling skills experience. She is adept in communicating complex lessons in a very simple and enjoyable manner. Kids just love her, and I have seen it. I can vouch for that. She has constantly worked towards planning, engaging, and introducing innovative techniques to guide the next generation and to assist children to assimilate even better. Her travel sojourns, both within India and to different countries of the world, have given her a deeper understanding of human nature and interaction, both for adults as also for children. Discipline is her biggest forte. Believe me, I know that. I was scared when it came to discipline in front of her. She comes from a defense background. Her penchant for timely achievement of goals, undertaken, and positive attitude are her biggest virtues. Very calm is her demeanor, and when you listen to her, you'll know what I was trying to tell you. She's been in the academic field for over 4 decades, and one of her accomplishments was to teach in the American International School at Moscow, where her learning curve took an exponential rise. Wow. Dolly ma'am, a big welcome to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Alka.
Tell me one thing, Dolly ma'am. Is there any memory? I mean, you've had 4 decades of experience, you know, I mean, that's a long time. I know you must have made memories galore, but tell me one thing, was there any special one memory that was very fulfilling, that started out as a challenge, but became very fulfilling, you know, towards the end, where you almost thought that you just gave it up, but yet you still pull yourself to do it. You just gave yourself that little extra push and you just made it. And after that, there was the kind of victory or the kind of, you know, what do you say, that pride that you felt was just out of this world. Any experience like that? Anything that you can remember and share with us?
It's been a lovely journey till now, whether it's been personal or academic. And one has gone through lots of trials in life and lots of success. My biggest challenge, I think, was when I was given a task with grade 10. They were neither here nor there, if you know what I mean. They were adults, they were not yet children. And to reach out to them and be able to connect with them was my biggest achievement. That is what I hold as my biggest achievement.
Wow. And I've seen how kids used to just run around you and, you know, they would just wait for you to give them some good grades or some stars or some, and just a smile from you. And, with your calm style, like most of us get very excited, but you get that calm going and still dealt with them very patiently, very calmly. I think that is what really made them just adore you and love you, and you love them back. So I think that was the best. Yeah, that was a moment which is unforgettable. I'm sure about that. Yes. Thank you so much, Dolly ma'am, for joining.
Thank you, Alka.
It's so lovely to connect with you.
Likewise. Thank you.
Thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let me talk to you about a very good friend of mine. And again, another wonderful human being. She's a happy coach, our guest of honor. And she is the founder of Mind and Me, which is Joyful Learning. She's the co-founder of AIEF, author PTM Square and My Why, podcaster on Spotify and Anchor, blogger, editor of Joy of Grammar, which is a book series. She's an activity consultant for HarperCollins publication. She's a facilitator of consciousness and living and learning. She's a happy life coach, as I told you. She's a change maker at Life-Based Learning. She is a news reader at All India Radio. And I don't know, there are lots of roles. Basically, she enjoys doing things differently. She enjoys doing them in open spaces, connecting with nature, putting smiles, spreading smiles. That is why we have been connected, and we've connected so well, because we believe in spreading smiles and and ensuring that there are happy faces all around. So I welcome Nina Arakel Matthew, Ambassador Nina Arakel Matthew. She is also a resource person with CBSE, All India Educators Forum, and I believe she has done a lot of training programs for educators, parents, and children in different schools, not only in Delhi, but also in different states of India. So a big, big welcome to you. How are you, our happy coach? You're muted.
I was just enjoying listening to all the speakers over here and your introduction, the way you introduced, and ma'am, Bana ma'am, what Bana ma'am spoke, what Dolly ma'am spoke. It was just wonderful hearing everyone. So I was just engrossed in the listening part and forgot to unmute myself.
I know, but happy life coach, I mean, I know that you can connect a lot with young children also, and you play a lot of games with them. What is the challenge, in getting them to play games together? Just on a, do you face any challenge?
I don't face any challenge while playing games with them, because that's their culture. That's their learning. So the only thing is that when we play games, we need to understand we need a lot of planning goes, pre-planning. Otherwise, we'll end up in indiscipline and a lot of chaos.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yes.
Yeah, because the energy level of kids is super. So you need to keep that going. Yeah. You need to keep your own energy level going, playing games and all that. So I guess at times, like you said, if that pre-planning is not there, then it could become a
and challenge. You need while planning also, it's not that you need to be a multitasker, but you need to be adept at transition. Okay. So you should know when to stop the game, when to pause the game, when to slow it, and when to speed up. Yeah. According to the involvement and engagement of children. So then it always works.
That's brilliant. I mean, I know that you do a lot of communication training as well. So I'm sure the kids have a wonderful time with you. That is why they're so happy when they're with you and they're playing with you. And in a way, they're learning. It's from those activities that actually teach them lessons. And I think this is what is needed at the, not only at a young level. I think games are something that even we as adults learn a lot from. So
you start a game over here, everyone will be engaged.
I know. Maybe I know we all will get involved, because that's where we actually learn, and then everybody is connected. So that's the main point. Thank you so much, and a big, big welcome to you. And
thank you.
A big welcome to all our expert panelists. I will begin with the only male gentleman in our panel, Professor Khairuddin Sudarmin from Malaysia. I don't know, he is one who has a lot of spontaneity in him. He adventure, exploring, sports, health, fitness freak in his own characteristic style. He loves traveling. Professor, I would like you to tell us something about yourself to everyone.
Well, okay, thank you, Dr. Alka. I'll try to do it in 2 minutes. I am already 68, but when I took off my beard, people and took off 20 years of my age. Oh, Alhamdulillah. Thank God. But anyway, I have 40 years or 4 decades of career, spanning from my first job with Oxford University Press, and then I was in government linked companies, and I was with the Malayan Railways, and lastly before I retired, I was group managing director and group company secretary and group general counsel of a public listed company. Okay, but the thing that I need to tell you is, while I was in corporate, I was also teaching. While most of my colleagues were playing golf over the weekends, I will be with my MBA students at various universities. I started teaching the BBA, the MBAs and the DBAs 20 years ago, in 2000, 22 years ago. And many of them have graduated, and they are all holding, high positions in the country, and we are still in contact. And that's the beauty of being a teacher. So I don't have much experience with teaching, little ones like many of you here tonight. But I would like to share later on, perhaps, my views about the topic today. Dr. Alka?
With your permission, Professor, Sister Mehreen has joined us from South Africa, and she has a lot of internet glitches. And she specifically messaged me saying that if we could all allow her to speak first, because we don't want to, we don't want to let go of her, because her internet might give way anytime. So there I see her, she's joined us. So thank you for saying hello to everyone, because that was important. But let me just give it over to our Professor, Dr. Ambassador Mehreen Mia, all the way from South Africa. First, Sister Mehreen, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then give us your views on a topic, which I feel really needs some solutions. And we really need to ask ourselves, why do we have very few teachers who are male at the junior level? And why do we see this profession? I mean, of course, things are changing. Things are really changing now, but we do see a lot of male teachers also, especially in the middle school level. But when you go to the primary level, kindergarten, like what we're talking about, we don't see male teachers over there. I think you can just count them on your fingertips. So what is the reason for that? We would like to understand from you, but please do say hello to everyone and tell us a little bit about yourself. Yes. Professor Mehreen Mia.
Thank you so much, my dear Sister Alka. It's always lovely to see you and to share a platform with you. And I appreciate the bringing me forth quickly. So thank you to everybody for allowing me that. It's just South Africa right now is facing so many issues regarding power and water, etc., etc. So my job, while I'm praying that doesn't happen. But little bits about me. I think I'm just me. I'm just simply me, regardless of title, ambassadorship, etc., etc. For me, I'm a lifelong learner, and I think that's what everyone on this panel is kind of about. It's you learn every day, you give off every day, and with each part of you giving off, gaining back a little of a lesson too. So in terms of my actual work, I love what I do because my passion is about women and children, especially no disregard and disrespect to our male, but my focus and my focus and passion is to empower especially our children at younger ages in the schooling systems, And that's where my programs are sitting at now. So with the children and youth. But yeah, empowerment of women and children across the globe, that's my biggest forte. And then, of course, humanitarian work is what I do on a daily basis via different places across the globe. But yeah, there's a lot attached to me. But my biggest recent one is Chilparco International, of course, and being part of the Women's Council there, which is my absolute honor. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell. So regarding this topic, Alka, if there's one thing I loved about the topic when I read it, and it said universities need female teachers and kindergarten need more male teachers. For me, what stood out about that was we're talking about the kindergarten, which is on the one end of the scale, and we're talking about university, which is literally the other end or the end of the scale. So the starting and the ending, and you're talking about two separate genders at each point. And that's where I think that actual answer to the question for me lies, is when we're looking at children going into kindergarten, I still expect that they need the mommy figure. And they need the nurturing from a motherly figure, because a male, so to speak, is not going to be able to get to that feminine, nurturing, mothering role that a kindergarten child or age group might need. And that's kind of the mentality that was always there. And when the kids are at university level, all that happens with them is, well, they're just there to get that phase done to become who they need to be and move on. So more males there doesn't really matter, because they don't really need the nurturing there. And why we're saying that shouldn't be necessarily the case is because nurturing doesn't stop. It never stops, especially for our children, no matter what age groups. And right now, if I have to go and look at my stats, for example, on the youth that I work with, majority of the problematic youth that I work with are university-based children. And that's because there's no go-to space. So why do we not want to alter that? Our kids are at university levels today, been struck with the pandemic, of course. Suddenly it's online lesson, it's online this and online that. Fair enough, technology worked for them. But that hands-on base is not there. And that's where we think of the nurturing quality that we get in kindergarten, because there you get the hands-on. When you are the little one in the classroom, when you're teaching the child in that classroom, you're actually hands-on with this child. They have to come to hug you. They leave university level, all you're doing is you're sitting in a space. Your lecturer sometimes doesn't even know your name, they know your name, and then you leave. You don't have any specific contact per se. You have more in touch base with your tutorial and tutor at university before your classes are over, but your lecturer is hardly ever. Why? Unless you're one of those triple students, which is summa cum laude, and then somebody remembers you because you got the award, and still you become as a name on a placard. And when you look at top for today, it's important. And it's purely important because that mentality of, I need the female me figure as opposed to the male person in kindergarten level, where does that even stem from? Why do we always have to have a female teacher in kindergarten for kids to be safer with, instead of having a male? And actually, culture also taught us, religions taught us that. It became a society-based something. But if we look today and want to try to change that, we need to try to look at how we want to. The one we must remember is our children minds of their own. Majority of the time when they're in kindergarten, they have problems because they're not relating to female anymore. They have this fix of what mommy figures should be like, and what I'm getting is not what I'm getting at home. That's what's happening now, purely because we had the break pandemic. And our kids were the frontliners. I always say this. Kids were the frontliners. They're thrown in. Okay, you go to school today. Okay, tomorrow you go to school. What happens to the university lot? But the reason I'm talking about this from that point of view is the impact of the teacher, the educator, whether you're at university or a kindergarten base, the impact you have on this person that you are teaching or educating. It is not specifically only about the lesson giving theory. It is the base of who you are, what impact you make on that person or the person that you're teaching. And why I'm saying that is because I, for example, a year ago, had to give counseling to a child, a matriculate here in South Africa. And this child had to get counseled purely because he had lost a friend to COVID. He had lost someone in his family to COVID. Went back into schooling system. Literally an A somebody getting into, I mean, he was already supposed to go into med school with the grades he had. And all of a sudden, the teacher from his school wasn't at school after the results had come out. And he had gone to school because he was so thrilled with these results, because that was the first person he wanted to go and greet, to say, well, yay, this is my results. I got this and I'm in med school, because she saw him through like some dark times and et cetera, only for him to get to school and get told every day for 6 days that the teacher's not there. And on the 7th day, does he find out why she's not there? And the reason she's not there is because she had passed on to COVID. And this child slumped at that juncture in the school. He slumped because it was just too much to bear. And, you know, after talking to him, I understood that the one thing he felt with this is this was not just my teacher or educator. This was somebody who gave me hope. This was somebody who was a lifeline for me. I never had this in my home. I never had this when I was growing up. I never had it in kindergarten. I had it now, yes. But she gave me what I needed to become this with these results. And now I'm doing something that I really want to do because she pushed me, yes. But she's not even here to greet me today. That's the impact you have as an educator on a child. And now when he's in university, okay, he's second year now, but at that point, he didn't even want to enter a campus space. And today, he's not wanting to be close to any lecturer. He doesn't wish to take down a cell number of a tutor. He doesn't want to be close to anybody. Why? The fear of I'm losing. So one of the male lecturers at the campus that he's on actually befriended him in terms of a lift one day. And in the car, that lecturer was speaking to him about something that he had gone through and said, you know, I'm so sorry that I missed yesterday's lecture, but I had to attend a prayer. So the child asked him, what prayer was it for? And he said, actually, it was my prof. I'm doing my PhD. This is the lecturer talking. My professor, my supervisor on my PhD, which I'm very close to because it's now my 3rd year, has passed on. And I had to attend the funeral. And so this child suddenly had this image of himself being that lecturer who lost somebody as well. And they had the discussion. And this was not too long ago. And again, imagine this is the lecturer who also had an impact from his supervisor at his PhD of losing that person. And I'm bringing stuff up that's all over the place about emotion, but it's important because that is such a huge aspect of when we're teaching our children. Do we even know what they're going through? Are we in touch with them on that base? So when we talk kindergarten and male, what will really be a plus if there's a male in a kindergarten? There'll be more of this, it's okay to not be okay, because the mommy role is always the nurturing. Oh, you know what? It's not, you don't have to worry. I'm so sorry. The male, we all know from the book, you know, women are from Venus and men are from Mars. They must have fixed it. They teach the children at that age, it's okay to not be okay. Let's fix it. Instead of the nurturing quality of I need to feel sorry for myself and then I'm feeling sorry for you on top of that. Let's just stop that. Let's get our kids to rather be real with what they're facing from day one. And let the nurturing happen when they actually at the university level, where they actually become so developed as a human self, and they can develop that growth of themselves even more, because that's where the actual nurturing has to be. Let's face it, I'm an empowerment specialist. Majority of the people that come to me that need to be empowered are who? Adults, not the children. It's the adults. Why? Because they lack that little bit of nurturing at some point in the adult life. So let's shift it, like the topic is saying today. Let's shift it. Let's shift where the base of the education is coming from and the gender that is coming from, because that mentality needs to swap. It needs to change. We need to get our males to become more in touch with the nurturing sides and the feminine sides and say, it's okay to be in a specific zone. And we need our women to know that it's okay to be in a university and teach nurturing qualities as you need to be in the university level. Because that's when we're going to draw the balance. And that balance is so key for our inner growth. That balance is so key for us to develop who we need to really be. And it's not just about a title. You know, you're going to kindergarten because you're in a specific grade. You're getting to university because you're getting a specific certificate. But you as a person need to grow. You need to grow through every instance as well. And why not have that female nurturing quality when you are actually needing it, when you're getting the last certificate to go out into the world? Because that's where everybody, you're going to face all the unknowns at that point. With that degree is when you go to, that's when the actual educator needs to be there for you. So that's just my little bits here and there. I'm so glad that this power lasted for me to actually speak. I could go on and to hear everybody else here as well. So thank you again so much, Dr. Alka. Always love talking with you and being on the platform too. Thank you so much.
Sister Mehreen, that was so impressive. And I just loved, there are certain words that you used, hope, you know, as educators, you know, when we're making an impact on a child, I think it's that hope, you know, that we give to the child that, you know, you can do it. If you just push yourself a little bit because you have it within you. I mean, instead of nagging, instead of criticizing, instead of giving the child this kind of a treatment that, you know, oh, you just cannot do it. You're a good for nothing, or I cannot deal with you. I mean, we do tend to lose our patience at times, but yes, this is something beautiful you said. The nurturing quality in males, I think, yes, they need to connect with their nurturing side, their feminine side. And don't we have that yin and yang? I mean, every individual has a yin and yang energy. And if you have that properly, there has to be a balance. And if there is a balance, I'm sure that, you know, if a male teacher teaches at the very grassroots level, you know, I'm sure they just bring out their nurturing quality, talk to the children and tell them, like you said, it's okay to not be okay at times, you know. And when they grow up, you said empowering, you are an empowering specialist, which I can truly see the way you speak. And adults at that time need that kind of, you know, a push. They need that kind of nurturing. Unfortunately, they don't get it at that time. And if they have some good qualities also, it all falls in, you know, prey to illusions. So I guess, not guess, I'm 100% sure that, you know, everyone will agree with me on what you said, that, you know, yes, if they can. But of course, there are other perspectives to it, and we would listen to everyone. And then finally, we have our experts over here who would sort of sum it all up for us and tell us. And but yes, that was a beautiful take. And, you know, I always love listening to you because you have a style of your own. And like you said, you also add that nurturing touch to your conversations when you interact with all of us. So thank you so much, Sister Mehreen. I'm so glad that the internet played buddy with us today. Thank you. Thank you so much. And now I would like our Dr. Ushavati Shetty, because we know that her father is very unwell, and I don't want, maybe she might be needed over there. So Dr. Shetty, thank you so much. I know how connected we are. And if you could share your perspectives, because I know you have a strong point of view on this topic yourself. So please, it's over to you now.
Thank you very much, Alka ma'am, and thank you for all the prayers. I truly need all the prayers. Dad is in ICU. He doesn't look very good to me, but hoping and praying that he will be out of it soon. Regarding the topic, I have been listening to all the other speakers. I will give my perspective from Indian point of view. When we talk about teaching as a profession in India, most of the women take up that profession because, sorry to say, it is not very highly paid here. And males being the sole bread earners of the family, they look for corporate jobs, which probably will be giving them much higher pay pack than what the teaching profession will give. Apart from that, I have also seen in my working career, whenever I'm interviewing people for vacancies in my organization, people who have been working in corporate field, women who have been working in corporate field, after they go through the phase of maternity or childbirth, it is very difficult for them to get back into the same corporate field, because the gap that comes in between, that is 6 months, 1 year, 1.5 year, in that time frame, probably the counterparts have moved ahead, and them going back into the corporate field again becomes very difficult. And then they choose some kind of a career wherein it will give them enough time to look after the child as well as earn their living. So that is the reason I have seen shift of women from corporate field into the teaching profession, just because it gives a lot of holidays. There are a lot of vacations in the teaching profession in Indian scenario, with a lot of festivals being celebrated here. At the same time, it gives them more time to spend with the child or with the family. Apart from that, I feel that yes, I can't recall the name of the speaker earlier. The psychological aspect that ma'am spoke about, when the students are very young, the children are very young, they require a special kind of care and treatment, which probably women are built towards. And being a mother, being a sister, being a wife, the kind of environment of the atmosphere that a lady can bring around into the classroom scenario. No offense to you, sir. The kind of love and care that a lady can bring around in the classroom, especially in the pre-primary sections or the primary section, that is probably the reason why we find more number of lady teachers in the schooling scenario. At the same time, universities, they do really pay a lot. And as I said, coming back to my first point, the pay package, there I feel, the male dominate in that particular sector, because of course it gives a lot of financial stability. And also I would feel that, the higher the degree, the more knowledge is required. At the same time, women, when they are tied up with their roles here in the family, they hardly get to move ahead with further education. And I'm completely talking about all this from the Indian point of view, from the Alka ma'am, no offense to, we are on a global platform, I completely understand, but I am giving my Indian perspective here, wherein girls are not given much preference when it comes to education. Boys are the ones who are given more leverage. They are the ones who are more encouraged. Girls are probably, not that very fortunate enough to go in for higher education as well. So somewhere, if, and the times are changing now with education into the whole system now, the women are also educated, the future parents are also more wanting their girl children to go ahead with their career. So I think the scenario is changing, but then here I feel it will take some time for the entire system to change. So that is my perspective about the whole thing, Alka ma'am.
Wonderful, my aqua friend, and once again, prayers for your father. And we all hope that he gets well soon and everything, normalizes in your family life.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
You gave a wonderful perspective, yes, but I feel also that, at the same time, nowadays, of course, things are changing, and girls know what they want. So if they really make up their mind, they are shattering stereotypes, they're breaking biases, and they're becoming more expressive and more vocal about their needs. And because they're becoming more vocal about their needs, they are foraying into, all sorts of fields now, which were unheard of earlier. But yes, you do have a point that many people, since the profession doesn't pay as much as it should, because in some countries, this profession is the most highly paid profession. Unfortunately, it's not so in India. Maybe in many other countries, it's not like that. And that is the reason, when women who get married and they, the dynamics of their family life changes, they're expecting babies or something, and once they want to rejoin, they generally they prefer the teaching profession for the simple reason that it gives them that balance, that time, where they can devote to their career. I mean, they get the satisfaction that, yes, I'm a career-oriented woman. And at the same time, they have this, that consolation that, yes, they're there for their family and doing their family duties as well. But we are shattering stereotypes. And I think we are breaking biases. If not completely, we have succeeded to a large extent. And I'm very, very hopeful and optimistic that we will. And sooner or later, this profession will also get we're getting a lot of respect. That is no doubt, because when we had the COVID, education never stopped. Teaching never stopped. I think educators were working 24/7. They had some child to console at any time of the day. The child would be feeling lonely. They had a parent to console. They had their fellow colleagues to console. And yet, at times they would have to have, with their supervisors, with their heads, with their the leadership team, they had their own, kind of, those little tete-a-tete, those meetings and all. So it was a lot of pressure, and they were warriors completely. So it's not only the doctors or the health professionals who were warriors. I think educators were warriors themselves during the COVID times. But yes, that is the purpose of our discussion today, that we must come to some kind of solutions. And I'm sure that by the end of this all, we will have something to, sort of put it all together and say how we can bring about that change. So thank you a whole lot, Dr. Shetty. And once again, get well wishes for your father. May God give him the strength. May God give him good health. And may God give you the strength to, get over this crisis. So prayers and good.
Thank you. Thank you very much, ma'am. Much needed. Thank you.
Thank you. So ladies and gentlemen, let's move over to Brazil now. And I would like to invite my sister. Hello, Wilma. How are you, dear?
Hi, dear. How are you?
Yes. Oh, we're all fine. And yes, lovely to be connecting again. And yes, I know that you have a little baby, Valentina. So I saw that you were, sort of talking to her. So before, anything major, I really would like you to share your views on this topic. And maybe from the Brazil perspective. So you could probably throw some light. Yes.
Okay. Thank you for having me here. Thank you so much. Well, here in Brazil, I think it's the same way as all in other countries. More female teachers working with small kids, and male working with the ones at the university. And I think one of the main reasons for this is that we've been raising our boys. Girls, since we are small, we are given dolls to take care of. So we are taught since we are small to take care of the other ones, because we are taking care of the dolls. And have you ever seen a boy receiving a doll as a gift? Of course not. So boys are not taught to take care of other people. Since we are children, we've been teaching this since a long time ago, that girls have to take care of others, and boys, they are not they're not taught to take care of others because they don't receive dolls. And I think this is one of the reasons we've been raising our children like that. Girls are prepared to take care of others and being more patient and all this stuff, and boys are not. And also, as Dr. Cherry said, here also, being a teacher, we are not well paid. And then I can see that girls are more into the field of being a teacher. Even at the university here in Brazil, we have more female teachers than male teachers. And one of the reasons, I guess, is that we are not well paid. And the ones who are teachers, that's because they love what they do. And then boys, they have to take care of the family. They have to raise their families. We are also girls, but for still now in the 21st century, these days, boys are the ones to pay for all the bills and more than girls. And then they don't go to the field of being a teacher, unfortunately. And in our kindergarten, I've never seen a boy as a teacher. And if they get started, they soon give up. I don't know why. When I went to the university, we were 40 girls and 3 boys, and they were there for 3 or 4 months, and they gave up. I don't know why. And then I think in the future we should have more boys and teachers, and then we have to teach our kids that this is a regarding a rewarding profession. And I hope that in the future the government pay more the teachers, and then this way will the teachers will be more empowered, because we love what we do, but we also need to pay our bills. And then sometimes we are working 3, 4 schools to pay our bills, and then we are exhausted. We don't have, as you said before, we don't have time for our own kids because we are out all day long and at night, and we don't have time for our kids. And then this is a hard profession, but we love what we do. And we have, this is also one of the most beautiful profession, because we have the power to change all the other lives. We have the power to all the professions come to our hands. And then it's so sad that we are not well paid, and the government don't give us what we should receive, because we are preparing all the professions, all the doctors out there, all the CEOs out there. They were students, and then the teachers are preparing them all along the life. So why we are not rewarded for that, unfortunately? But this is something that I love doing, and I can see that all teachers there, they love what they do, and they do that with love, and that's rewarding. And one of the most beautiful things is that we have the chance to learn from others. And thank you, Dr. Alka, for organizing these events where we can learn from others, where we can get inspired, and we can see that we are not alone. Because sometimes we think that it's a hard work to do, and we are alone doing that. But when we get together in these platforms, and we see that teachers from India, from Brazil, from Argentina, from different parts of the world, we are working on the same role. We are trying to do the best for our kids and students, and we are changing their lives, and we are doing all this together. We are doing this in our community. I know it's a small thing, but if we hold our hands together, and if we help each other, if we empower each other, then it will be a better world for sure, and we'll be changing lives out there. It doesn't matter if our salary is small or not. We will continue doing that with our love and with our heart. Thank you so much for inviting me here. Thank you. I'm so delighted to be here. Thank you, dear.
Oh, wow, Wilma, that was beautiful, coming from the heart. Very, very pure, very genuine. And you just said it the way it should be. And yes, you are right. What we need now is a mindset transformation. That is what we need, I mean, because maybe somewhere deep down, in families, there is always, and it just comes naturally. It's not that they're doing it on purpose, but it just comes naturally to the parents, or maybe to the family members, to give gifts as dolls to the girls, and cars, and, those kind of, whatever, those small superheroes to the boys, and guns and all those things. But I think, and it's very rare that, a boy gets a doll, because then the boy is called, that, oh, that's something which girls, and we have so many movies. I mean, I don't want to use certain, but yes, that becomes, it just comes naturally. And we just sort of unconsciously gift in a way where, somehow gender shows its ugly side. It's actually the ugly side. So what we actually need is a mindset transformation. And not only the children, I think everyone, each and every one of us needs to be empowered, like you said. So we are, as educators, are doing what we love, and we will continue to do what we love doing, which is, teaching from the heart. And this is not only teaching, but this is actually learning along with whatever it is we're sharing, because we're also learning a lot from our students. I mean, I think COVID taught us that technology was not something that we knew, and technology was something that our youngsters knew much better than us. And we learned it from them. So I guess we need to be empowered as well. And sometimes the economic angle does come in, And yes, when we think of other areas, other jobs, other professions, where people are highly paid, and I feel that teaching should also be given. I mean, the devil should also get his due. Not to say that,
Yes.
but yes, we also need to get our due. So you're very right when you say that. And you're again right when you said that sometimes when we're all sharing on the same platform, everybody resonates with what is being said, because everybody is going through that. Maybe in different variations, varying degrees, but yes, we are. So wonderful thoughts shared, Wilma, coming straight from the heart. Lots of love to you. Thank you so much for being
Thank
here.
you.
Always. She is our Chilparco International ambassador from Brazil. She is our Energia International. She also, we also do a lot of programs for the youth. And she's also our international brand ambassador. Right, Wilma?
Yes, I am. Thank you so much for the honor. Thank you.
Thank you. And I just saw my very lovely friend from Argentina joining us, Paula. Professor Paula Perez Lopez. She is the principal at Yes English Institute in Argentina. She's another, London is her favorite place. And let me tell you, Anna over here loves London as well, especially, visits at the Trafalgar Square, where she just loves to sit and look at the pigeons over there, look at people walking by. And I know that you love London as well. Right, Paula?
Yes, that's it. Yes, I could see you. It was so nice to see you there, dear Alka, walking in these wonderful streets. Yes, I really enjoy your faces, your smile, because I love that place. So I know that you will enjoy
I
that.
know. That's why I
Yeah.
mentioned. Our Professor Kerudin is a big fan of London as well. He
As
loves
well.
Portobello Market over there.
Now you make me miss Portobello. Normally
Okay.
this time of the year, I'll be walking around the streets, okay?
Yeah,
That's it.
So, Paula, we'll listen to you in a while, but we wanted to say hello to everyone. So you can just say your hello. Thank you.
Okay.
And
Hello,
thank you so
everybody.
much. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And Paula.
Thank you for the invitation.
Yes, she is our Chilparco ambassador from Argentina, and also the Energia International ambassador. We had a wonderful program where she and her students told us a lot about Argentina. That was really wonderful, where you talked about all those wonderful cuisine and places and books and folk tales of Argentina. So thank you so much. Now
Thank you very much.
We'll listen to you, Paula, in a little while, your views also on this. But let us listen to the gentlemen in our panel before we listen to the other ladies. Our gentleman, Professor Khairuddin Sudar Ramin, we would like to hear your views. And yes, you can talk about London also, but, but you must talk about the topic.
Okay, I will thank you, Dr. Alka. I will zoom in straight to the topic, which is about there should be more, more women in the universities, and there should be more men in the kindergarten. Now, just to share with you my observations in Malaysia, there's not a problem because, for the last 20 years, I've been teaching in the universities, I noticed there is an equal balance. In fact, there are more women now in the universities than there are men. And to top and to, I would say to make it worse, to make matters better for women, is that our Minister of Higher Education is a woman, and our Minister of Education is a man. And that's one. And what you call, so I don't think, I would agree with the top, I would agree with topic, but as far as we are concerned in Malaysia, that's already in place. Okay, now, what about the kindergarten? The kindergarten, we need to have, yes, this is one that I would agree. I think there should be more male teaching in kindergarten. You know why? Because just now we're talking about, giving what you call little dolls into that. No, the men, don't forget, the man has a father figure. And I remember my own school days when I was a child. I would listen more to my what you call male teachers rather than the female teachers, because the female teachers, they are more disciplined and more strict. I will run away. but the male, they are strict, but they have something that you can learn from them. And I grew up from a generation where, remember this, Dr. Alka? Spare the rod and spoil the child. So I grew up in that era. And I remember when I was in Standard 1, the first day that I went, my late father sent me to the school, this is what he said to the teacher. He says, teacher, this is my son. I am now giving you under your care. Do what you like with him. If he's naughty, discipline him. If he needs to be caned, do that. If he needs to be, punished, do it. But just make sure that, he doesn't break an arm or a leg, or, he has cuts in there. Otherwise, I leave everything to you. So you see? So when I was in school, I remember, during my time, okay? When we were caned, if the headmaster gives us one cane, okay, we will never go back and tell our father at that time, okay? That's our parents. Because if we go home and tell them that I got caned by the headmaster, you know what he will do? He will add an extra 2. You'll get a bonus. You can ask those in my generation. I see everyone is laughing. That's true. So that's the kind. So it leaves an impact on us. But again, I really don't know why I'm invited tonight, because even in Malaysia in 2014 there was an international women's conference. I was also invited to give my views. Maybe because I'm a bit more open, and I've always been a supporter of women. And professionally, in Malaysia we have a 30% policy. It's a national policy where we want to make sure that they are holding a senior top management or board post. And it's I think I've left the corporate world now, but I think it's still we're still working at it, work in progress. But many have already been occupying a senior position. Well, we have not reached the 30%, but I think easily it's about around 19 to about 22%. Correct me if I'm wrong. I need to check the statistics again. But yes, that is the things that we do in Malaysia. And in fact, the cabinet, I'm waiting for the new cabinet to shuffle. I would imagine there will be a lot more women being members of parliament, and who will be holding ministerial position. So that's to give a scenario about how women is being placed or is progressing in Malaysia. I'm sure but okay, just before I forget, the views about women and about males is not much different in those days than the people in other societies, India or in Brazil and elsewhere. And then this question about the service, nobody, there's never enough. Everyone will always say that I wish I would get more service. But otherwise, we are okay. This is my observation, okay, about women, and I hope, Dr. Alka, I have addressed. There are a few other things before I forget. I wanted to say that the world has changed now. We are in a new world order where we don't talk about men or women. Even those days when I was in corporate, my mantra was that don't remember those old days we say give the best men for the job. That's bias. No, that's only meant for males. No, I always say choose the best person for the job. Doesn't matter whether
Wonderful.
Female, okay, and you know that today even male and female, the degree has changed, right? Some women, you thought she's a woman, but actually she's 50%, and 50% she's male. Same thing, So all these new species, has evolved, and these are the things we have to deal with, especially the young professors, the young people who are now dealing with that. I'm already tired, so but I'm watching all this with exuberance and excitement. And thank you, Dr. Alka, for inviting me to share, a little bit of my views and my, opinion. This is my personal opinion about the topic today. Okay, that's it. Otherwise, I will not let the other ladies speak. Back to you, Dr. Alka. Thank you for inviting me.
Magnanimous you are. Magnanimous, witty, gritty, and humorous at the same time. I saw Dr. Bana really smiling when you were speaking. I would let Dr. Bana give a perspective, and just tell you about what you said. Dr. Bana, what do you think of what Professor Khairuddin spoke about?
I like the emphasis on quality, on merit. And where there is quality, there is merit, and the best person gets the job.
Yes.
You know, the differences melt, and it's the impact, the overall impact, which benefits the students.
Absolutely.
That's the whole.
This is what it is, you know, merit.
Thank you, Dr. Bana.
Yeah, that was the powerful part of your conversation with us today, actually, you know, where you said that may the best person, you know, it should be may the best man win. I mean, we're bringing in gender. So best person, that is empowering, very empowering. Thank you so much, Professor. And as always, I love your gritty, humorous style. Thank you. And you have to join us again. We have our Wireless Connect coming up. So block the date. And it's another interesting topic.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Now let us have our wonderful friend. She is Chilparco International Director from Delhi, and she also is the editor of Tenacity, which is our magazine, e-magazine, and Miss Dheera Madan. So Dheera, what would you say? I mean, what perspectives or what kind of, piece of information, power-packed points you would add on to whatever was being shared on the platform?
Good evening, everyone, and thank you, Alka ma'am, for this wonderful opportunity. I personally feel, adding on to what Wilma ma'am said and what Alka ma'am briefly touched upon, is the cliched way of defining the stereotypical roles of a father and a mother needs to merge. You know, I don't want women saying I have to go home and look after my little child because my husband would be, tearing his hair by now and he wouldn't be able to handle the child. Why not? Why wouldn't the husband be nurturing the child like a mother? Why wouldn't the husband be changing nappies? Why wouldn't the husband be doing all that is required of a mother when the child is an infant? In the same context, when there's a financial crisis, when there's a financial discussion, when there's a political discussion, why do the kids, by and large, I don't have the statistics, run to the father rather than the mother? So these stereotypical things have two aspects. First, the upbringing has to change. I'm sure females and males both can nurture children. Children who don't have mothers and have adorable fathers never say, my father was useless, I wish I had my mother around. They're so full of praise for their fathers, saying he was both a father and a mother to me. So I personally feel it should be 50-50, if that's the statistics like it's being followed in Malaysia. Both the genders are equally capable of nurturing children, provided the stereotypical thoughts are removed, provided they are trained, and as children, they see it at home. They don't sort of, oh, you've cut your finger, go to mama. Oh, you're crying, I'll call mama. It doesn't work that way. These things have to change. And similarly, at the university level, the serious topics of life, the complicated issues of life, if there's a financial crisis, if today there's a, God forbid, if the market crashes, the children who are interested in that kind of news or affected by it would, by and large, I can assure you, percentage-wise, would run to their fathers and say, Dad, what are we going to do about it? Not to their mothers. And similarly, mothers should educate themselves with all the financial issues, political issues, and only then the females will be confident enough to enter the university level on a large scale. I'm sure there are lots of women out there, but to meet the percentage of men teaching at the university level, the mindset has to change. One last point I'd like to make. The Texas shooting, where the young boy killed 13 children and 2 teachers, was nurtured by female teachers. What went wrong? He was bullied for wearing clothes coming from a Hispanic family. The nurturing didn't tell. And it didn't statistically work out because nobody looked into the bullying. So let's not bring in gender. And as the gentleman professor said, let the best person be chosen for the kindergarten roles as well as for the university roles. But yes, some kind of percentage equality must be maintained by the establishment or by the government. Thank you.
That was a wonderful roundup, and especially that point which you touched, that question that you asked. it actually makes everyone think. It was quite powerfully, spoken, the way you just said it. What do you think about that, Neena ma'am? What do you think about it? What Dheera now said.
What Dheera said was extremely practical, very genuine. Every line that she was speaking, it is so relatable to every house, every parent, every individual who's a part of today's program. So thank you for those views, ma'am. Dheera,
My
ma'am.
pleasure. My pleasure. Thank
It
you
was
for
fantastic,
listening.
Dheera.
Thank
And
you, ma'am.
and thank you, Neena ma'am. That was good. I mean, you're right. Each and every aspect that she touched or every line that she spoke was very relatable because you could actually feel it. And when she said, especially when she was asking us that question, what went wrong? Wasn't that child nurtured by a mother? So what happened to the nurturing there? I think that should give us enough reasons to, really think hard and long about what went wrong and what is it that we really need to do. So thank you, Dheera, for making us, for activating the gray cells in our.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that share. And yes, now let's listen to our friend from Argentina, Professor Paula Perez Lopez. So, Professor Paula, what do you have to say on this extremely intriguing topic?
Well, I'm trying to to summarize my ideas. Well, you know that uh, sometimes I think that I've been born in a family that is not the typical type of family. I was raised by a single mother, so never in my life my life have depended on a man's attitude or action or whatever. So for me, it's kind of completely different thinking about these things because whatever I have done throughout my life have depended on me and the support of my mom, my aunt, and my grandmother. So I have been raised by true strong women that taught me that whatever I wanted to do in my life just depended on me. It's like I don't believe in, maybe I am a feminist and I don't know, but I don't feel identified with this new feminism that fights against men and they are against all the time, that goes to the street with, it's like you see like shouting or doing aggressive things in the world. You can see that. Well, I believe in another kind of feminism where you are not fighting with anybody. You are just having your place and we are just respecting each other. So this is the kind of feminism that I believe in. I think that whatever happens with children, we have to change things wherever we are. So wherever we are, is if we are at school, we have to be careful the way we talk, the way we speak, the way we treat our students, no matter if they are boys or girls, but we have to give them to set the example, you see? So sometimes, you know that mothers tend to be like more likely to spoil boys. It's like to be there, to be like giving everything because he's a little boy of the house, the prince of the house, of the mother or whatever. So we are responsible for that, okay? We have to teach them that we have to share activities. So today is Saturday. You know, Alka, that I'm even a single mother with 2 kids and I am an adopted mother. So it's like I have broken all the rules, you see? All the rules in my way. So it's like I have done my life in the way I wanted to. And that's why it's difficult for me to talk about this because I have not undergone any difficult situation as regard my behavior or my choice. You see, I have been born and raised believing that whatever I wanted to do in my life depended just on me. So nobody was I didn't need anybody to be there, so I could accomplish just anything. So if I wanted to study, I had to study, and I decided what I would study, and I did it. Okay, so I started my own company, and I wanted to be a mother, and I decided to become an adopted mother and a single adopted mother. But that was not difficult for me. It's like natural, you see. So maybe I think that we should take this as natural, because it is the way it should be. It doesn't matter if you have a couple or not. You have dreams as a human being, and you have to achieve your dreams no matter if you have a couple or not. Okay? And if you have a couple, each person has dreams. So what we have to do is to complement each other, to support each other, and to go together to reach those dreams together. You see? So I don't believe that it's because I don't need a man in my life. I don't believe that. It's like you have to do with your life what you want in the situation that you are in. It's like just deciding what you want and just go for it. You see? So if you're going to have a couple and to share your life with a person, okay, let's see and let's pay attention what kind of person you are choosing for your life. And if you have dreams and this person is not supporting your dreams when you are boyfriend and girlfriend, well, okay, so you're not choosing the right person. So let's be more, I don't know, it's like focus, and let's decide. You see, it's be responsible for the decisions that we take. So if we can choose the person that's going to be with us, okay, we have to communicate with our aims, both people, you know. It's like what we want. Okay, let's go for it. You know that it's I have always worked all my life since I am 16 years old. I have students, private lessons in my house, and I have worked. So it's something that it's natural for me. I cannot conceive my life. If I want something, I have to work for it. So it's like, I think that this is the way that we should live. You have dreams as a person, no matter if you are a man or a woman, but you have to go for it. And if you have someone in your life that wants to share your life and also your projects, okay, so you have to work together. You know that whenever we are women, we need to work. I cannot conceive women not working. You see, it's something that is not, I don't want to sound arrogant, but I think that it's necessary, because we meet other people, because we are constantly changing things. So you have to improve, you have to learn, you have to interact, you have to give your position, you have to do things. So this also enrich the couple's life, because you have other things to talk about. If you are in the house all day long, you are just cleaning, taking care of everybody, food. So it's like this terrible routine all the time that is like you don't have ideas. It's like a machine that you have. It's a lot of work, and nobody noticed that work only when you haven't done it. You see, it's like so when you didn't have time, so that's the time that everybody realized what you have been doing all day long. So I think that it's good to have a team in your family with your children. If you're a single mother, if you have a couple, okay, be a team. Okay, not a maid, be a team. So we are all together here, we share responsibilities, we share the good times, we share the decisions, and we support each other's member of a family dreams. So I think that that's the way to be happy, to feel fulfilled, and not blaming anybody for the things that I'm not deciding to do. Because I think that sometimes we are passive and we say, okay, we don't do this because my husband, okay, so if your husband doesn't let you do that, you have to sit down and talk with your husband and let him know, okay, you see, I need this because I have studied, because I am a professional, because I want to study, because I don't want to be just a mother and a wife. I want to be something else. So I think that we have to be responsible also, because we are not victims, you see. We are human beings, we are grown-ups, and we take decisions. And if we also let others take our decisions, we are letting them do it. So I think that we have to be responsible. So, and we have to set examples. As teachers, we have access to many children, to many adolescents. As mothers, we have access to our children. So maybe our generation is kind of difficult to change, but we have to work for the rest. So maybe we are not going to see the results right now, but we will, our children, our girls, our boys will live in a different world. And that's the aim. No matter where you are, we have to make changes, and we have to be teams. You see, it's not fighting one against the other. It's just being team and respecting each other. So for me, this is the way I see this topic. And if you haven't seen it, I will recommend you a wonderful movie that's called Hidden Figures. It's from the 2016, and it is very interesting. So if you have any opportunity to see this movie, I believe in this kind of feminism, not the one that is fighting one against the other.
I knew you would end it with some movie. And yes, my God, that was a feisty, fearless take on the topic. I just loved it. And yes, you are right. We do need this kind of feminism, where we all work together. The key word is together. I mean, it doesn't matter whether I'm single, whether we're not in a couple, or I'm a single mom, or whatever our condition is, whatever our situation is. I mean, we should just go for our dreams. We shouldn't sitting and just thinking about it, just sitting down, twiddling your thumbs, thinking, oh yes, I think I should do this. I think I should do this. Go ahead.
Blaming others.
It's your life.
Blaming others, you see?
Yes.
Okay. So it's my choice. I have to be responsible for that. So it's not the idea of being victims of the time.
Yeah,
we have to be conscious that we are the ones that are taking the decision. We are just letting someone else
rule our life.
That's it. Yes. Rule our lives. That's it.
Absolutely. Totally agree with you. What does Dolly ma'am have to say about this? Dolly ma'am, you're unmuted.
I really liked what Paula had to say about this, and especially the sentence where, as feminists, we need to respect one another. And when you are looking at dreams, you can achieve anything in life, as she said. That was the key sentence. Living your dreams and reaching out to achieve them. It's only then when you feel you've truly lived.
Absolutely. That's beautifully spoken and beautifully summed up, Dolly ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I mean, you've come after a long time, but I really want to hug you. I wish I could. Soon we will meet. Soon we're going to meet. Yes, now I would like to ask our professor. Professor, what do you understand of the entire thing? I'm going to give you a minute or two to just sort of say. And then I will ask our Nina ma'am, I'll ask Dhira, I will ask Dolly ma'am, and finally I will ask Dr. Bana to give a complete, what is the main thing that we need to really focus on as change makers? I mean, we all call ourselves change makers, right? We're all defying certain norms. I'm sure that all of us in our way have defied some norms. We have been different. One thing is for sure, that all of us have been different in our own characteristic way. So we need to sort of get that summing up from you, Dr. Bana. But first, let's listen to our Professor Khairudi. Yes, Professor.
I was actually going to ask Ms. Lopez.
Okay.
She was very fiery, very feisty.
Yes.
Describing, that you need to do what you need to find. I'm with her on that. But I just wanted to find out, to ask her, does she agree that there should be more males in the kindergarten?
Paula, please answer.
more male teachers in the kindergarten instead of ladies? What do you think?
I think that I have met good teachers, and I think that men teachers have their own style.
Okay.
You know, we don't have to be, I don't know why that's what I'm saying. I don't know why, but it's like we need all the time to be like, okay, we need more this. And when we have teachers, they have their own style, and maybe they don't like to be teachers. So maybe we don't need more teachers. We need, and maybe they can perform other roles in the society, not only teachers, you see? So there are teachers that have the vocation of being teachers, and there are others that don't like that. And so why do we have to be all the same? This is something that I don't understand, you see? It's like we are different. We like different things. I think that respecting each other is the key to everything, you see? So I don't think that male teachers are no so disciplined, or sometimes they are, but there are also women that are not so disciplined. So it has nothing to do with gender, you see? It has to do with personality, with values, with, I don't know, but we're all the time thinking about
with
men and
culture
women.
too. You're right, but I
see?
think globally speaking, a lot of it has got to do with culture. Like in Malaysia, I mean, men, wouldn't like to be seen. If people ask you where you're working, you are a teacher in the garden. You know, it makes you feel, like a CC, that kind of thing. That job
It's
is,
difficult.
So
If
yeah,
we have...
the word is stereotyping. So I think this is a scenario that is not just particular in Malaysia, but I would imagine in other countries as well. You know, this stereotyping and also the cultural, that a few of us have been talking about earlier on, and how we how the society looks at it. Am I right, Ms. Lopez?
Yes,
Do you agree with me?
It is. Yes, I agree with you in that way. I agree with you. And I have to be honest, I'm an English teacher, and being a kindergarten teacher is not something that I feel I feel at ease with them, because you are they are so little. It's like, imagine I have this situation this year. They were all vaccinated. So they were 14 4-year-old kids, and they were all crying at the same time. And I said, oh my God. So, oh my God. I didn't know what to say, because they all wanted their mother. So I said, oh my God, it was just an hour at school. And I said, oh my God, when I came home, I have a 12-year-old girl and a 9-year-old boy. And I said, oh my God, thank God you are older than these kids, because I didn't know what to do. So being a kindergarten teacher is not a matter of gender, it's a matter of skills. You see, so I love teaching, and my vocation is teaching, but if I have to choose, I would teach teenagers, for example. I love them. I love teaching them. And for me, kindergarten students, even though this is my vocation, is hard. So sometimes it's not a matter of gender. It's a matter of skill, of connection, or you see? So I think that not everything is defined by gender. It has to do with many other things.
But I still feel, Ms. Lopez, that there should be some structured effort when it comes to fulfill the topic we're discussing today, to allow more men to change their perception to become kindergarten teachers.
In my country, they have the opportunity to study. So they have the opportunity to study. It's not that kindergarten teachers are only girls or women. No, they have the opportunity to study. So that's what I'm saying, that for me, it's not a matter of gender. It's a matter of liking or not, you see? Right. So I think that we have teachers. We have men teachers in many areas, English teacher, music teachers. We have also kindergarten. I used to work in a school where we have a first grade teacher, and he was the best in the school. You see? Yeah. Wow. So he was the best in the school. Students loved him, but everybody has the opportunity to be a teacher here. So the ones that don't want to be a teacher is because it's not their vocation, okay? Yeah. So I think that it has to do with the election in the case of my country, that maybe they don't feel that they like that. Yeah. But I think that I have met wonderful teachers. And this first grade teacher, it was amazing to see him working with the kids. They were 6 years old, and he was the best first grade teacher I've seen in a primary school.
Okay, so sorry, Dr. Alka, you were asking me just now to comment on what?
Comment generally. What is your takeaway? I mean, what would you like to share with all of us?
Oh, yeah. overall, I've enjoyed so far, although a few more I have not listened to. But the discussion is actually fulfilling or addressing the topic that we are discussing today. And some of it I probably may want to use, and then make some recommendations to our ministry here, and to see that are we paying enough attention to these two things.
Great.
The first one, the universities, I think that they are okay, but the kindergarten, I think it's important. You know why? Because that's the fundamental, the basis, the beginning of us forming, the person. Because if you don't do it right at that level, you're going to have, I always believe, in quality management.
That is the point.
Right.
If you don't do it well at that young level,
getting it right at the first time. If you get it right there, then at the end of the day, everything will be okay. But if you didn't
there's that phrase, right, Professor? Catch them young.
Yes. If you don't get it,
we need to catch them young.
Exactly. So, and I think that applies globally. If you don't deal with your young ones and then give them the right mindset and the right ability, and then to have an open mind, to have a critical thinking, to be able to see the world, and of course today we're talking about green, about what you call sustainability. If you do not put it into their heads now when they are young, it's going to be difficult to do that later on. That's my takeaway, and how I feel about the topic in our today's discussion, Dr. Alka.
Wonderful. Thank you. Wonderful. And what would you like to say, Dheera, about everything that was shared?
I think to sum it up, it's more about skill. That's point one. Point two is people who love the profession make an effort to nurture, to fall into that role. And, they're happy doing it. Third, stereotypical behavior at any level, starting from the family, has to be changed. And definitely, the teaching profession has to be given a lot of respect and put on a pedestal, because we are creating the nation, we are creating the future generation. And as Dr. Bana had once said, that in Scandinavia, I think the senior citizens are asked to board the flight first, or they're given importance to board the flight first. Why can't we have teachers boarding the flight first? It will immensely bring in complete transformation. So when there is respect in this profession, when there is money in this profession, and when people are happy doing it, whole scenario will change.
It's going to skyrocket. Well, beautifully said and powerfully said, Dheera. What would you like to say about the entire deliberations today? Ambassador Nina, what would you like to say?
I'm totally overwhelmed with all the views, and totally agree with the mindsets that were shared over here. Mindsets need to be changed. Perceptions need to be changed. And the Texas incident, which Dheera mentioned, why it occurred, and I'm still thinking about it. So you got me thinking into it. I want to share today's incident, if there is time. A quick share.
Yeah.
I told you, ma'am, that I'll be a bit late in joining.
That's okay. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's part of the story.
Okay. Wow. Then I'm dying to listen. Yeah, I'm sure.
So I had So I had this live class, and children come in for Mind and Me. So today I had a new student come in. That is a Chowkidar's child, who's just 4-year-old, and they were all there. We played games, activities, and then 7 o'clock. Just before 7, I had to get ready for the online meet. I told Matthew, my husband, who's a high school teacher, I said, I have this online meeting. You please take care of the children. Be with them. He said, what? Me? What? So I said, oh my God. This is so relatable to today's meeting. This is so relatable. Like, immediately he was like, his expression changed. I said, you don't have to teach them. You have to be with them and answer the query. And they also will get used to someone different other than me. And he handled it very well, all the dispersals, everything. He did it so well. So I just want to say, I'm really proud.
Salute to Mr. Matthews. Yeah,
I'm really proud to share this, that at least the topic of today, some action was done on my part and Matthew's part today.
Lovely.
So we have made a start. And in schools, I feel, in schools, if you cannot hire teachers, male teachers in kindergarten immediately, but if you have high school male teachers, please send them for a story time in kindergarten. Please send them.
Wonderful. I hope all those who watch the live later on or who are watching this live will definitely benefit, especially all educators, all teachers, even male teachers, female teachers. I would say everyone. What you just now said was very empowering. Send a high school teacher to take up a storytelling session with the kindergarten kids, if not be there for them completely. At least that's a wonderful, good start. Brilliant, brilliant. I want to say, I'm sure you have more to share.
Yeah, but later on.
No, please go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so these perceptions that we have about, I feel that teaching profession should not be genderized at all. We needn't have these gender specific teacher roles at all over there. And why this genderization of teaching has come, we have to look back at history, our historical facts, our cultural facts, our social facts, everything. Mindsets need to be changed, of parents, of managements. Now you look at, picture this, like, in a kindergarten, maybe a child is crying, male, female, but the teacher is, say, female teacher. The teacher goes to the child, why you're crying, and the child hugs the teacher, or the teacher makes that child sit on the lap. The same, picture this same situation with a male teacher. There will be 10 eyebrows raised at the same situation, even if it is, it's purely concern, a pure concern for the child. That trust we need to have on our male teachers when they are among them, because our mindsets, and even the newspaper incidents that we come across or have come across, has taught us not to trust. Please, if we have to change something, we need to start with the trust factor.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree with you more. You said this right word, the trust part. We need to start. I mean, how can we keep on harboring something on, how can we keep on living based completely on preconceived notions? That is what's killing our global society, community, preconceived notions. I mean, give the person a chance. Let people do things their way, like Paula said. And I'm sure, that drastic change will come all over the global community.
And many of the speakers spoke about, like a professor from Malaysia, he spoke about, males have to be there, and he used to run away from the female teachers.
Yeah.
So actually, the males, if a child is crying, maybe the male teacher has a different approach towards it. They would completely change the mindset or change the dynamics of the classroom and change the focus of the child.
Absolutely. You're right. Over here, I'm cutting you, but I want to tell you that at my place, I have two kids. When they were young, when husband used to come home, it was like wow time for them. And when I enter home, it used to be curfew time. Mama would say, this place is dirty, take out your homework. What happened in school today? So it was absolutely opposite. I mean, I was the teacher, and my husband, I would tell him that, why do you have to get away by being so good to them? I mean, they think that if Papa is around, everything will be okay. And when Mama is there, it's like curfew. So, these are the things that, I mean, let things happen. I mean, let's not fit into certain roles, because each and every one of us, like we said, and every one has some quality in themselves that makes them, that sets them apart from others. And we do things in our own way. And that is what the world needs to understand. If we let people do, I mean, it's not like we don't follow. There has to be certain kind of norms. Otherwise, everything will be jungle rule. There needs to be some kind of norms, but there needs to be some flexibility in norms as well. This is what I feel. A wonderful day. Anything else? I mean, this was a wonderful share, especially that sending a mail to the kindergarten for a storytelling session, maybe for, I do think that in schools nowadays, we do have music teachers, we have physical education teachers, we have dance teachers, theater teachers, who anyway are generally male teachers. So at least they are connected with that side, so the children are, but maybe we can introduce this in a much bigger, better way.
Yes,
I mean, we
definitely.
can do it. Well, and I'm sure we will.
Yeah.
What else would you like to add?
Ma'am, I've exceeded my time, so I'll.
Okay, well, that was wonderful. That was absolutely wonderful. And I just loved it. And now
Thank you,
I would
thank you.
like Dolly ma'am to share her views, her summing up of the entire, the conversations that we had over here, the feisty conversations.
The topic under discussion brings to my mind the balance scales of Lady Justice, who discerns facts and evidence to decide a verdict. After hearing the deliberations of all the participants over here, it makes me feel that we are stepping into a world that is diverse. And if children can see that diversity and live it every day, it will enhance their creativity as also their innovative skills, which later on in life will lead them to have great empathy as adults. That's what I feel about this discussion that we've had today.
Wow. As always said in your very calm, yet impactful, impressive style. Thank you so much, Dolly.
Thank you, Alka.
For those powerful, articulately spoken lines. Thank you so much. And now, Dr. Bana, I would like you to really sum it up all and tell us what needs to be done.
Well, Alka, I have to thank you first for all this phenomenal repertoire of activities that you're conducting and for bringing us to this deliberation. And wow, what a range of views, ideas, and a lot of coherence finally for meaningful initiatives. So I will mention each person.
Yes.
The element of discussion. But to be very practical, I think where trust and respect, these are the two keywords that I really picked up. Very important. If we are talking of having more male teachers at primary school level, we need a more positive depiction of their role. But we have to give them the opportunities, and we hope they make the choices. So the whole environment should be such to encourage. A number of speakers mentioned how important it is for the teacher to have some kind of a status where there's respect. So I just loved the whole range of discussion. We went beyond stereotypes, and then finally we actually went beyond gender. So that was wonderful. And we once we went beyond gender, we came to the core values of trust and respect.
Yes.
So if you want me to summarize it in that way, I would say that. However, if you would like me to go, one by one, I would say that Sister Mehreen, she drew our attention to the impact a teacher makes
Yes.
and the way she handles a situation and what she can do to build resilience. So learners are able to take things in their stride. And for that, she, again, she, somewhere the gender lines just merged and mingled. It was the quality of the teacher that emerged. That was more important. We had Dr. Usha, who brought out all the challenges that the teaching profession brings us and how we need it to be more paying, lucrative, and more respected in society. And of course, we talk about Guru and we talk about Guru Mata. Traditionally, they were much respected. So that needs to, there's a need for reviving and revitalizing that. And meaningful initiatives can be taken in that direction. People who have the power to influence. Wilma said something about boys not taught to take care. So which was focusing more on the stereotypes that tend to exist and continue to exist, and how we need to go beyond it and give them roles and give them the opportunities. And that's where I bring in Professor Khairuddin, where he said, the foundational attitudes and the foundational skills. So if at primary school level, one does start and sorry about that.
That's okay. It's music to the ears.
It's very important that they perceive both male and female teachers equally represented at school level. And once they're equally represented and they perform their roles, their different strengths they exhibit, the collaborative part of it, the interdependence part of it will emerge. And as Paula said about how important it is for us to play our role well, because that's where the little children are picking up all the signals. And if we have to be an emerging civilized society, we would not see so much of gender violence if it started with respect for our different strengths and our roles from that. So our perceptions form. And as educators, we can structure. I'm taking the word structure also from Professor Khairuddin, where he said, we should have structured engagements planned, activities planned in such a way that they see male teachers in a role of nurturing, care, maybe cooking, and the women teachers in a role which would be stereotypically considered male. So the more such structured interactions or gender diverse role play projects, they engage in, it will help to give them a more positive orientation. And then the gender lines will themselves melt, because we don't need to focus too much on that. And we have to go beyond those stereotypes, as Dhira pointed out, going beyond stereotypes. And Paula was, of course, beyond gender. She took it to respect. That was great, once you evolve to that. I just love that. I think I've more or less mentioned.
Is there any point that you would like to also add that you feel?
What Nina was saying also, I was just thinking about And also Dhira pointed out, you know, she made us think about some episode.
Yeah, right.
Training in non-violent communication. Very
Yeah, training and non-violence.
communication, from where all this divisiveness starts, where all the violence starts. So non-violent communication, if teachers practice it, you will not see bullying. When there's no bullying, there's no anger, there's no taking it out here and there and trying to prove something and the whole thing like that, you know. So I think I've more or less covered the need for student-teacher interactions that build the foundation and attitudes and skills that help a more gender equitable perspective formation. So if we grow up forming those kind of sensitized, knowledgeable ways of dealing, definitely we will abhor driving things to the point of violence. And regarding male teachers and the safety and security issues that crop up whenever, because there are perspectives like that, opportunities for more positive depiction of males. If they, if they come forward and so on, and university level, having more female teachers, as they said, after, of course, when we've gone beyond gender, but still, if there are more female teachers, and I think it will nurture a respectful workplace culture. And then finally, it's balance that we are looking for, because from there will come the strength of harmony and trust. So we really have traveled today from trust, building trust, to respecting and merging all the differences and going beyond. That's the role, I think, of the educator. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, you said it all, Dr. Bana. Thank you so much. Gratitude from the heart for saying it just the way it should have been said, touching upon each and every panelists, you know, the crux of whatever they said, putting it all together so beautifully and merging it all up into this beautiful, powerful conversation, which is what we all need to be working at. And I'm sure, you know, we have so many people would be watching this on live stream, and maybe some of them, I'll share this video and they'll watch it, because, you know, I think they need to understand all these points. Each and every point that was, you know, talked about here, each and every conversation that was spoken about, I think that really needs a lot of thought to it. And when we...
Dolly, of course, helped to summarize. So
yes,
important way she put it across, I think.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. You're so right. I mean, that the story is a sustainable story that you narrated. The suggestion that you gave about storytelling done by a male, I think that is very powerful. And then, I don't know, each and every one of us just brought out their best in this conversation. And I really felt that there was not a moment when we weren't there with one another. I felt each and every one of you trying to actually, I don't know, maybe take it all in and then maybe thinking something and then wanting to say that. And I especially love that little exchange between Paula and Professor. That was wonderful. We want more of that. And in our next wireless conference, which is going to be a wireless debate, we're going to be having that. And we're going to have Dr. Bana only. And I'm hoping that she'll say yes to it. But I'm asking in front of all of you. So thinking she'll say yes to it if she could give us 2 hours that day as well. But I know that, you know, she's also busy, but still, don't worry, I'll try. But now, as a parting shot, all of us, we all have our favorite quotes, you know, one favorite brief quote that you would like to share with all of us and also with everyone who will be watching this particular stream. And I think this is really powerful because nobody really thought about it. And I think just talking about this is an empowering feeling. I mean, I'm already feeling empowered. I mean, I'm feeling those tingling sensations, and I really want to, go out there and really share these kind of tidbits, all these powerful conversational tidbits and mantras and everything that were shared with everyone, so everyone can be empowered. So any empowering quote that you would like to leave us on? So I'll begin with okay, Professor, I'll begin with you. So you cannot say that it's ladies first always.
I'm going to share the wisdom that I have been observing, that I like, away from the universities and the kindergarten. This is what I always tell people. I like Robin Sharma's way of thinking. You know what he said? He says, you are what you eat. And the other one is, you are who you drink coffee with. So I thought listeners that are listening to me can maybe try that. I like that. You are who you drink coffee with. Same thing goes with the girls. And I always tell people, I said, for example, if you to my daughter, if you want to marry a doctor, okay, you work in what you call hospital or in a clinic. Then very often, very likely that your husband will be a doctor. And if you want to marry a lawyer, you work in a legal firm. The chances are that your husband will be. And similarly, if you are a teacher, very likely the likelihood of that your spouse will be a teacher too. Along those lines. That's it. That's my last take.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Paula, I know that you want to say something.
Well, just to finish my idea, I think that we have to keep on working with this mindset. You know that when we talk about women as teachers, it's because for so many years, the only option, first, women couldn't study, then they could only be teachers and no other option. So I think that we have to break with this mindset and start giving also the idea and the opportunity to men to think of teachers as a profession, and that's completely possible, and that it's also possible for a woman to become an engineer. So I think that it's like giving equality to both gender, to being whatever you want to do with your life, with your professional life. So I think that whenever we are teaching to our students, it's simple things. You told about this storytelling. Well, I think that in these single activities where we are organizing our activities for just working with work positions, okay, not only, and we have pictures, there is always a man that is an engineer. So maybe we can have different pictures, you see? A man or a woman, a doctor, a woman or a man. So let's start doing little things in the activities that we arrange, because we can change the mind with simple things. It's like giving the visual idea of different things. So whenever we are teaching jobs, okay, let's focus there, not just to give them ideas or vocabulary in the case of English as regards jobs, but just give different pictures. So you can be a doctor, you can be a teacher, okay? Not only if we have teachers, is always a woman, and if we have engineer, is always a man. So let's change from little things as teachers in our activities, in our songs, in our whatever we are doing, in TV programs, in videos that they are doing. So let's install this idea of you can study or work in any position that you want. Okay, so it's not only so maybe little things like images can also help. The speech with the words that we use can also help. So it's important that we do that at home and at school.
Fantastic. Thank you. Fantastic. Dolly ma'am, a powerful quote perhaps which you would like to share with us?
I would say that my mantra of life has been, destiny is not a matter of chance. It's a matter of choice. It's not something to be waited for. It's something to be achieved. I live my life by that.
Wonderful. Beautiful, beautiful. Profound, but beautiful. Love it. Love it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Dheera, what would you like to add? What would you like to share?
Ma'am, recently I came across this very short and impactful quote. It said, everything is an expert. Everyone is an expert at something.
Yeah.
So let's learn from them.
That brings out our philosophy. Unique, unstoppable, unbeatable. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Dheera. Yes,
Thank you,
ma'am. What would you like to share with us?
Was that to me? Question?
Yes, yes.
Okay. 3 quotes which really inspire me and get me going. First is, be the change you'd like to see in the world. Second is, if you cannot explain it to a 5-year-old, that means you yourself have not understood it well. And the third one is, anyone can love a rose. It takes a lot to love a leaf. So it's ordinary to love the beautiful, but it's beautiful to love the ordinary, which we can have in our classes too, with total empathy.
Lovely, lovely. Dr. Bana, one quote from you as well.
We've had a real serious discussion. So I'm going to say that life is all just froth and bubble. Life is all just froth and bubble, but 2 things stand like stone. Kindness in another's trouble and courage in your own.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Amazing, amazing. Like they say, charms strike the sight, but merit wins the soul. And another one of my favorites, coming from whatever we shared today, dare to dream and dream to dare. And just go ahead and just do your thing. And be fearless. Yes, that's what we need. Thank you so much to everyone. Have a wonderful night. And
You're welcome, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
in Malaysia,
Thank
what time is it, Professor? What time is it in Malaysia? It's late, I think. It's past.
Professor, you're muted.
It's 11. It's almost 12 midnight.
Yeah. Okay. So for the next day,
yeah.
a couple of hours to go before the next day. But
And I haven't had my dinner,
joining us from Malaysia, to everyone who was here with us from Brazil, from Argentina, from South Africa, from Greece, my friend could not join us, but she'll definitely be there for our next meeting. And thank you, all of you. Thank you, Dr. Bana. Always amazing. Very charismatic personality. Thank you, Dolly ma'am. Very charming, calm demeanor. That's what I always think about you. A beautiful soul. Nina ma'am, I just love your happy smile and I love the relatable things that you share. I mean, amazing. Dheera, I love the witty you. And I love the fact that you always end a conversation with something to think about. You know, you always leave it like that. And Professor, but yes, I love your humorous spirit. And I love the way you say a serious thing in the most humorous of way. So thank you so much for being you. Thank you to all of you for being unique, unstoppable, and unbeatable. Till we meet again, bye-bye. Take good care of yourselves. Stay blessed, stay happy, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It was wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone, good night.
Good night. Good
Bye.
luck.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye-bye. Good night.
Bye.
Take care.
Thank
Keep
you.
smiling. Thank you so much, Professor. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Dolly. Thank you so
Thank you.
much, Nina ji. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
I haven't had my dinner, Dr. Alka.
Oh,
Yeah, my dinner is waiting for me.
okay.
Chicken rice.
Oh, yummy.
Okay.
Thank you so